Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, AdventurerJessica. That's me, Jessica. Welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about board games. I haven't really talked about board games on my channel before, but I love board games. I've played tons of them. I own a few of them because where I was living before, I had friends who owned the games for me, and we would just go to his house and play. But these are the games I've picked up because these are games I want to play with future people, future new board game groups that I have or will have eventually. These are just games I love, and I want to make sure I can play them again in the future with different people once I find people to play games with. So if you're like in Florida and you play board games, holler at me because I need people to play with. I have looked on like Meetup and stuff to see the different kind of people that play board games in the area, and where I'm at currently it doesn't seem like there's too much happening, but we'll see. Anyway, it's not about me trying to play board games right now, it's about me telling you what my favorite board games are. So I've got a few to show you. Where am I going to start? I don't know. They're all so good. So I'll just start at the top of the stack. So this right here is Specter Off. This is one of my favorite games because I love playing as the person that the other players are trying to hunt down. So basically on this one, there are the people who are on the board, and then there's the person who has this sheet, and there's definitely a couple in here. They've got this sheet, and they're marking their movements down on here where nobody else can see. And the other players are trying to find this person who's going around secretly with their character, not on the board where everybody can see it, unless certain things happen. And I absolutely love playing as the character that has this map and is trying to secretly get around, do my objectives, and beat everyone else's butt. I love it so much. So it's a lot of fun. It's very different being a sort of hidden player on the board. I love it. So definitely, if you guys haven't seen this one, check it out. It's a lot of fun. There's different types of characters you can choose from that have different special abilities to help track down the person who's the hidden player. Or if you're the hidden player, there's different things you can choose to, you know, sneak around differently and perform your objectives in different ways. So it's a lot of fun, and I love it. The next one is Dead of Winter. This game is so amazing. I love zombies. I do have the, what is it called? The expansion, The Longest Night, or whatever it's called. And I haven't played the expansion just yet. The expansion is a standalone expansion as well. So I'm excited to see how that one plays, but I haven't played it yet. But this one, the base game, is so good. I love the crossroad cards. Which every, like, not the active player, but the person, I believe, who is just the active player gets a card that could affect the current player's turn, and sometimes it's as simple as yawning. If you yawn and you have that specific crossroads card, something crazy could happen. So I think it's just really funny. And then, of course, you know, typical zombie, you know, you gotta barricade and try to get away from them. If you go out and search for things at the different facilities, you have to roll for exposure, being out in the cold, as well as being potentially around infected zombies. And it's just a great game. There's a lot of different characters to choose from with different sorts of advantages and disadvantages. And there's, you know, I think it was a Kickstarter thing, but one of the characters was Felicia Day, and that was just so funny. But this game is a great game. If you don't have it or haven't heard of it, please check this out. Like, this game is so good. It's amazing. So the next one is another staple board game. It's Betrayal at House on the Hill. I'll hold it the correct way, and I think I just heard everything falling out of their spaces. But this game is really good. I know I've posted on Instagram before that I've played it. But this game is so good. You're basically Scooby-Doo in the gang, and you're going through a house, and it's totally haunted, and you're exploring it, opening up new rooms, seeing what's behind them. Some rooms have different things that they could do to affect you, which is really cool. And then once it gets to a certain point in the game, one of the players becomes a traitor, and they become the bad guy. And you have to try to defeat them based on the scenario. There's, I think, 50 different scenarios that it could be like going on, and it's just so fun. There's tons of replayability in that because there's so many different scenarios. But if you do ever run out of things that, you know, you've done and all, they have an expansion called The Widow's Walk, and I have yet to play that one either. But I've heard it's really good, and I love the base game so much, so I'm excited to play that expansion as well. So the next game, I like the game, but the game has a lot of setup and takedown to it. It's a card-based game. It's called Marvel's Legendary. There's tons of expansions for this one too, to add different superheroes or villains to your game, and then the thing about this one is it's a card game. So there's pretty much no other pieces aside from the cards and the mat that you play on. And in order to play the different scenarios, you have to know what type of heroes you're going to need against the villains that you have. You have to make sure you mix in weak villains as well as, you know, the stronger villains, because you don't want everything to be super easy. And you have to make sure you have the right mix of heroes in it, which can be pretty complicated if you're doing it by yourself. Luckily, there's apps out there or even like websites that can auto-generate different scenarios for you based on the different expansions and stuff that you have. So that's really good. So the only thing is, you know, going into it and pulling out the cards that you need and then putting them in gameplay and shuffling everything up in a good mixed up order. So the setup and takedown can get really tedious, but once you get going in the actual game, it's a good game. It's a great base, like, deck building, build the deck as you go game. So it's fun. It's just annoying on the setup and takedown, but I love the game a lot. So, you know, if I have plenty of time to spare, I may do this as the last game of the play session that I'm doing, and so that way I can, like, put off picking up all the cards and resorting them and putting them in their proper places. But they have tons of different expansions. There's like Deadpool, there are the Secret Wars expansions, Paint the Town Red, Spider-Man expansions, villain expansions to get different villains and stuff, or you can get villains to have the villains play as the good guys that you pick from. There's a lot to it, but it's a lot of fun. So the next game I've got for you is Codenames. This one's super cool. I actually haven't played my copy of it, but I'm sure everyone's heard of Codenames hopefully by now, because it's great. So you have all these different cards with words on them, and you have a different teammate, and you have to get your teammate to pick out the cards that are yours, and when they do that, you know, you get the point for it. But in order to get them to pick out the card that's yours, you can't say the word on the card, obviously. You have to say something like, say the word on the card is dog, and you have to get them to guess dog, but you can't say dog. And you've also got on the board, another one of your cards is like cat. I don't know. So you've got dog and cat. Those are your cards. You're trying to get your opponent to guess which cards on the mixed up board belong to your team. And so those are the only two animals out there, I guess. So something you could say was like animals 2 or pets 2, to try to get them to guess that there's two cards that they're trying to guess, and they're both like pets or animals. I don't know if my description was very good, but on the back of the box you can kind of see like there's all the different words on there, and you have to like say this one and this one are your card. You have to try to get them to guess it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great little kind of quick game. Definitely like a filler game that I really enjoy. Another one, and this one goes up to 10 players. So this is great for parties where there's more people playing games, because a lot of the games out there are going to be, you know, up to single digit number, you know, like 6 or 8, typically 4 or 5. But this one goes up to 10, and I think there's even expansions you can get to where you can have more players on this one. I'm not too sure on that though. I just have the base game on this one. But this is really fun. There's a traitor mechanic to it. So depending on how many players you have, depends on how many traitors there are. And you're trying to send the players on a mission by selecting who you think is not a traitor. And then they do the mission, and they either like fail the mission or the mission goes through successfully, depending on if you had a traitor on it or not. So you're trying to figure out who's the traitor, so you can't send them on the mission. Or if you are the other traitor, you're trying to send your other traitor friends on the mission to fail it. But it's a really fun game, very easy to pick up and learn. Tons of fun. I love it. I play it so much. That one's really good. And another spy game. Spy games are amazing. How does this go? Spyfall. So everybody on this one, and I don't remember how many players this goes up to, 3 to 8 players on this one. So everybody gets a card of a location, unless you're the spy, then you get a card that says spy. But everyone is at the same location, and the spy is trying to figure out where you guys are, and you guys are trying to like say yes or no questions, basically, of like giving hints where you are to figure out who is at the location and who's the spy. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely check this one out. I like it a lot. And there's tons of amazing locations. Like, let me open it up and show you. So I've got the one on the top here is the embassy. So everybody's going to be at the embassy. Their card's going to look exactly like this. There are also job roles on the card. I've never played using those roles, but you can use those roles to add another dimension to the gameplay. But one thing for this card I would say is like, the question I would ask is, oh, are there a lot of business professionals here to help suggest that it's somewhere a little more ritzier, but not giving away like too much information. Like if I said, oh, there's a lot of flags here, that could potentially give it away, especially if someone's played the game before and they know what kind of cards are in the deck. But it's a lot of fun. I think they also have a second version now as well to add different locations and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. I like it. I like to play it a lot. And then one of my absolute favorite staples, I carry it on me all the time. It's a great filler game. It's Love Letter. Basically, it's a card deduction game. Everybody gets one card, and then as they play their turn, they pull a card, and then play those cards based on what the cards are, what the best options to play them would be, or there's some cards where you have to play them based on the other cards that you have. Sounds complicated. It's very easy to pick up. Super simple. Basically, there's cards 1 through 8. Person who has the highest numbered card at the end of the game wins. But there's like cards like the princess card. If you ever have to discard the princess card, which her card is number 8, you automatically lose the game. And then you're just trying to get the other players out of the game based on what cards you have and how you can like manipulate the cards. So basically, it's just counting the cards, who has what, and trying to get everybody else out while maintaining the highest card number yourself. But it's a lot of fun. I carry it with me everywhere in my purse because it's so easy to pick up. It's a great filler game. The games can be very quick depending on how many people you have playing, which I think it goes up to 5 players on this one, maybe 4, but I think there's also expansions to where you can get up to 8 players. I don't know. I don't even have the rules in here anymore. I just know how to play it. But those are some of my top favorite games like ever that I own. There's also another one that I have that's pretty cool. I didn't get it out. Mansions of Madness. It uses an app to play the game, and it's really fun. Very like immersive stories to it, and it's super cool. And another one is called World of Yoho, which uses your phone as like would be your ship pretty much, and you go around the map sailing the 7 seas and stuff. But those are some pretty cool games. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on these games. Do you like the games that I picked out? Do you hate them? Why do you hate them? You shouldn't hate them because they're amazing. No, but everybody has different tastes in games and stuff. I really like games with the spy and traitor mechanics, or those hidden movement character mechanics, or those deduction style games where you're trying to like card count or figure out like what someone's trying to tell you, such as Spyfall and things like that. But yeah, so make sure you leave your comments on your favorite games. And please let me know if you're in Florida and you want to play some games. Let me know. Hit me up. I will play games with you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.